Hey, come on in. It's time for life on the light side. And how are you doing today? Ooh, I can't put the camera like that because I look. Does this video make me look fat? Oh, if I keep going the way I have been with some of my eating habits, anything will. Anyway, welcome to our little time together. Did you get you a little something to sip? Got my hibiscus tea, even though it says coffee. You know, a friend of mine got me a Yeti cup, and I was talking to her one day, and I said, gosh, I wish my coffee wouldn't get cold before I'm done drinking it. And she said, "Oh, well, that's interesting. Don't you have an insulated cup?" And I said, "Yeah, they just don't work real well." Well, wouldn't you know? One day there's a package in the mail, and it's a purple, of course, Yeti cup. It's metal, and it keeps my coffee warm right until the last drop, even if it's a couple hours later. It does cool off by the time it gets to 3 or 4 hours. My mother-in-law used to say to me, "How can you drink the coffee like that?" Because I'd kind of just keep sipping it and sipping it, and eventually it gets like a little film on the top. Never bothered me. I even think back to the days when I had a percolator, and oh my God, I would drink that coffee till it literally was gray. I hate to think about how much aluminum I probably brought into my body. And since I haven't been doing that in decades, let's hope it did not have a negative effect on me. Um, so today we are, if you are not familiar with Life on the Light side, our goal is to support each other in staying positive and upbeat and together as a way of finding respite from the craziness we're immersed in, maybe even finding some answers, learning how to live a happy life no matter what's going on outside the door. So if you want to see more, you can go on YouTube and type in Life on the Light Side, Alicia Leslie, and I'll pop up. You can see all the videos we've done. I do encourage and urge you to chat along with me. I can't necessarily always see your chats on the side. I don't know. It's just the way my computer works. I'm probably doing something wrong. I have a setting wrong or something. But in any event, if I don't see your comments or questions and don't answer them during the course of the video, I certainly will when it's over. So it'll notify you that made a comment on a video that you were watching, that you were participating in. So, whew, that's enough of that. I hope your day is going well. Mine is going well because when this day is over, I will have ticked off some things on my to do list. And there's nothing like ticking things off your to do list to make you feel accomplished. I'm wearing my Thanksgiving shirt basically because it was one of the things that was left clean. That means today I did my laundry. I kind of wanted to hold off till tomorrow, and it was supposed to be a little warmer, but it's actually quite nice outside today. So I did the laundry, and then I got my veggie food shipment. So I order from this place called Veggie Foods. Though some of you know, maybe not everybody, I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for, oh, 45 years maybe. And I remember the days when I first became a vegetarian, and that was not common. And people would say, "Oh, you want to come graze on my lawn?" People just didn't get it. Well, laughs on them because today being a vegetarian is actually quite popular and widespread. And it doesn't, just because this is something you have to know, just because someone says they're a vegetarian doesn't necessarily mean they're any healthier because there are lots and lots of vegetarian choices that really aren't very healthy at all. And I've probably eaten a lot of them and still do. But I always try to make it, more on the healthy side. I always know those for those of you who don't know, I went to cooking school. I went to Goodwin Tech in New Britain when I was in high school. So from grades 9 to 12, I would spend a week in shop and then a week in classes. Or was it 2 weeks? I can't remember, but we would switch off and my grade, like when I was in ninth grade, the ninth graders and the 11th graders would be in classes together. And then the 10th graders and the 12th graders. So you always had kids that were older helping to mentor the younger ones. And I got to tell you something, I got a pretty good education in cooking in those days. And we did shows, and I could go on with stories like that for days. And you'll probably hear them. It's fun to get to know people. And that's why I encourage you to share in the comments so I can know a little bit more about you. One of the biggest problems we have today is division. First, we were divided by, well, the natural things that people have different attitudes, difference of opinions. And over time, that got exacerbated so that we really started to turn away from a lot of the things we did. For example, um, back in the day, church was a big deal. You went to church on Sunday, and there were people you went to church with that you kind of hung out with, or went to coffee after church, or anything like that, maybe lunch, depends, whatever you did. But there was a community. Within that community, there were activities, there were, fundraisers and organizations. I was a part of what was called the Rosary Guild for a number of years. Um, it was the Ladies Guild or the Rosary Guild. Maybe it changed over time. I don't know, but I was a part of church groups. And then, of course, when I became a unity minister, and we would have, you know, things, we had family game night, we'd pull the congregation members. So we had these social things going on. And today, there are these things that go on. They are right available in our town, but a lot of people just don't participate, especially if they're newcomers, because they don't feel like they don't know the people very well. And some of the people from town don't like newcomers taking their space. Oh my stars. You know, when I when I was working at one of my churches that I served, um, the church started to grow, and it really did some good growth in 4 years. And that actually led to trouble in the church because somebody was suddenly sitting in my chair. They were in my row, they were in my chair. Somebody else might have had kids that were a little persnickety, and they go, why can't they control their kids, But as we fell away, now there's another thing. Unity did an article one time that I thought, there's something like you can read it just once and it sticks to you like glue because it's so true. You will know a truth when you hear it. So this particular truth was uh, my phone buzzed and I lost my train of thought. Give me a minute, it'll come back. Let's see. Well, one of the things I wanted to say is I tried to widen people's perspective one time, and I everybody came in and sat in their seat like they paid for it, for gosh sakes. And so I told everybody, so please stand up and switch sides. Go sit on the other side. So you get a different perspective Oh my goodness, the people were not happy because it was now everybody was sitting in everybody else's seat. It's so funny. I got the article back. I knew it would come back. There was an article in Unity Magazine. If you have not ever looked into getting Unity Magazine, you have to understand we have in Unity two paths. One is called the primary path, and that's like your main route of spirituality. The other path is called prayer and inspiration. So we serve people of all faiths, and I always pray that what I share with you isn't just unity, because we teach universal principles of truth. They work everywhere. Okay, let's go back to the article from Unity Magazine, which, by the way, has a lot of great articles in it that help you live that life on the light side. And also, there's the Daily Word, which is another Unity publication. It's a daily devotional. I read mine every day in my prayer time, and it kind of gets me some direction in what I'm going to pray on. Anyway, let's get back to the article. Gosh, I am having more little side trips today than I usually do. So, anyway, the article was about porches and patios. And it stated, rightly so, that there was a time when porches were a big part of houses, having a lovely porch, and people would go and sit on the porch. And they might have one of those little porch swings, and they would observe as the neighbors walked up and down the street, and they would greet each other. And in those days, you might even do your barbecue on the front lawn. And over time, there came to be patios. The patios were in the back, they were more private, but they started to separate us. Another example of our separation is television. Now, when I was a kid, there was one TV. It was black and white, and you had to decide among you what was going to be watched. Well, as a kid, if it was parent time, if it was, anytime after supper, you don't get a choice. You watch what's on, you watch what the parents pick. But that was okay because we all watched together. The programming was very strictly uh, uh, friendly, family friendly. I'm not saying that you can't have, deeper rated stuff, but the deeper rated stuff really came after 9 o'clock. Whereas today, some of the stuff we watch early in the evening, it's really disappointing to me because it's hard to find something that I really feel comfortable with. And commercials, I'm so glad I don't date, because if I had a date come over to my house to watch television and there were things about feminine hygiene products and birth control products, I would be humiliated. In those days, you didn't have to worry about things. Things were inferred as opposed to thrown in your face. So, just another little diversion. But then we started to get TVs in every room, and people, again, now within the family, we were divided. So we kept dividing and dividing, and then we didn't know each other as well. And that's really sad, because who should we know better than the people we love, right? And now, even if everybody's in the same room watching TV, chances are everybody's on their phone, glancing at the TV, glancing at the phone, glancing at the TV, glancing at the phone, and not looking at each other and even having a little commentary on the program that's going on, asking questions and stuff. I would just like to encourage everyone because we've gotten so divided now. We've become actually splintered, and families are broken apart by the political situation. And now we are separated because of a pandemic. So now we can't, hug. I think we're hug deprived. And I'm so glad I have my cat because, and the funny thing, since this, you know, stuck at home thing is going on, my cat has become way more cuddly. I don't think it's just because I'm here. Maybe she senses my need for hugs. And so, we want to think about that and how can we live in this time of separation, feeling close to each other. So even on our little afternoon visits, I do like to stay close together. So, and that's again why I invite you to, even if you're watching this at 10 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and this is not live at the moment, your comments are definitely welcomed and appreciated. So, how do we get to know each other better? Well, we can't do it so easily on the one-way video chat, as you know. I tried Zoom once, but I couldn't seem to coordinate people and their schedules, so I gave up on that. But we can do it in our lives. We can, especially with video, we can call a friend and have a visit. We could have a multiple Zoom gathering and for 40 minutes. I understand there's a 40-minute limit on Zoom gatherings, but there are ways that we can meet with others. And one of the things that you can do that's a lot of fun is to get the book of questions. You can find questions online. This book is so old, it literally is in pieces. Someday, when I have nothing better to do with my time, perhaps I can glue it back together. But the questions are very provocative and they really help you get some insight. Let me see if I can find a couple. Okay. Hmm. This is interesting. I don't know if you would have such an easy time answering it as I would, but the question is, given the ability to project yourself into the future but not return, would you do so? And then it goes on, if not, would you change your mind if you could take someone along? And how far would you go? Question that occurred to me on that. Wait a minute. So I'm going to go into the future. Am I going to get older? Or can I go into the future just as I am? Or can I go into the past and be younger? Lots of questions, but that's a thought. Let's say you stay the same age, you go into the future. I don't know. How am I going to handle the future? Because what I've seen happen in the past several years, it doesn't look that promising. But we are told we are entering the age of Aquarius, the age of enlightenment and harmony and understanding. How do those words go? This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. That, of course, brings me back to the stage play. It's an opera, it's a rock opera. Hair, which also had it was Hair, right? Yeah, yeah, and I went to see it and brought my granddaughter with me. And at one point, there is that moment that everybody knows is a part of the play Hair. And the lights go out, and the lights come up, and there's all these people strolling around naked. And the lights go down, the lights go up, and they're gone. So it's really quick, but it's a real shocker. But so a lot of people went and got a really interesting story in the play that is Hair, and some of them maybe got the message. They went to see the naked moment, and they got a message instead, as well, as well. But that was quite an interesting time. So I've been in that part of life, and I think maybe we are entering the age of Aquarius, and I would like to go. I would like to live through it. I don't want to go without all my family and friends. So let's see if we can find another one. Ah, let's see. Would you accept $10,000 to shave your head and continue your normal activities without a hat or a wig and without explaining the reason for your haircut. Well, of course, that's easier for guys because they're not going to question it. Women would usually be questioned about it because, okay, here's another thing. Uh, People will say, well, that's none of your business, but people are curious and they want to know about other people. So, if you see, especially someone that suddenly shaves their head, and what's your first thing going to be? What did you do? Why did you do that? Oh, do you have like my color of my hair? I get surprised. And my daughter-in-law and I were in the park one day watching my son and my granddaughter play tennis. And my some people walked by and they kind of looked at my hair. And my daughter laughed and she said, she said, you've had your hair like that for so long. I forget that to other people it's weird. Be a little weird. It's okay. And sometimes I like to color my hair because I like to let other people know it's okay to do something a little crazy. Doesn't mean you're crazy. It means you've expanded your comfort zone. Remember, we talked about that the other day? We did. We did. Let's do one more because it's fun. Let's see. Hmm. I don't like that one. Let me find another one. Ooh, no, I don't like that one either. Okay. Oh, no. No. All right, I'll put this one out so you'll understand why I'm saying no to some of these things. Do you ever spit or pick your nose in public? And what about cleaning your teeth without a toothpick? In public? I don't think so. Now, what if you're in public and nobody's going to see you? You look around, you're still in public. Would that be different? I'm going to tell you yes, because when I was coming back from where the washing machine is today, when I did my laundry, all of a sudden my throat, and I looked around, nobody's around. Now, if anyone were there, yeah, I probably wouldn't have done it. I would have just dealt with it, which is not, it's not healthy, just, it's not healthy. So the book of questions, they're provocative. And you can probably ask people questions I was not going to put in public because then maybe I'd be asked to answer them. So we're divided, and we can start to come together by getting to know people. For the past 5 years, the focus of our division has been so political that we have taken people with widely varied lives, widely varied, and always only focus in this area that every time you get together, it comes up. And I personally will not allow it to come up. If someone wanted to have a reasonable conversation, I would be open to starting it. Um, but if it started to get uncomfortable that there was going to fall into division and argument, I just don't want to go there. I don't want anything to interfere. I don't want anything as divisive as politics to interfere with my relationships. I want my relationships to be built on the things we have in common, the things we love, the things we like to do together. It does not mean being, keeping on rose colored glasses and pretend the divisions are not there. But what I have learned is that we're not going to change other people's thinking. All we can be is the best we can be. Now that I've gone there, I did see a picture today, a little video on on YouTube, and it was about a book called I think it was called Rising Above Hate. And it was about a man who was pretty up high in a white supremacist organization, and a Jewish man who actually brought him out of it. He brought the other man, excuse me, to see something differently, not by having heated discussions, not by trying to force. Remember what the affirmation we've been holding? Not by power, might, nor by power, but my spirit, saith the Lord. So his spirit, the Jewish man's spirit, was one of peace and harmony. And he said he would have Shabbat dinners. I think those are Friday night dinners. It's a tradition of Judaism. And but he'd invite everybody. They were in college. And of course, who doesn't like free food? So this white supremacist young man would go to his house for the Shabbat dinners. And as he went and he observed these people who he had so been raised to not like, he slowly started to soften and to consider different possibilities. And now they are deep friends. The man has rejected the concept of supremacy of anything or anybody other than, that we're all equal, that we each have our own ways of worshiping, of living, and so he was actually freed from the limitations of extremism. So hopefully we don't have anything that big to deal with. And hopefully, if we have been estranged from someone, we can try to find a way uh, to rebuild, um, to to find other things to talk about, book of questions, to direct and to send down roots of unity and understanding between and among us. So if the other person, now I have people in my family who I had to pull away from because the stress and the division could not be avoided. And so I said, I cannot participate um, in this kind of thing. So I have to step back. Now, when I stepped back, I did not step back in any other way, um, excuse me, other than failure. I would not get involved in the adversarial conversations about politics. So, but if it was a birthday, I tried to send a card, a gift, a holiday, Christmas gifts, things like that. I kept it up. Now, when you give something, do not expect to get something back, especially if you've fallen into an adversarial aspect of your relationship. Do not just give because you love to give, and you're saying, this is not a toaster oven, this is love. Coming in a toaster oven box with a toaster oven inside. But these are the things. Write a note. Just stay pleasant. Don't engage in the negative. Accent the positive. Eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative. And don't mess with Mr. In Between. That's an old song. Got it from my mother. Okay, well, we are overtime. How did I do that? But I hope that was somewhat pleasant. I want to give you a quick update about my cooking adventures. Regarding the bag bread, if you decide you're going to make that, we made it, way too much flour in that recipe. So cut back the flour from 3 cups to 2 cups. And if it's too sticky and you have to add more, we'll do that. But do not put in 3 cups right off the bat because it did not work. But eventually, with enough work and kneading and rising and everything, it did come out to be an acceptable loaf of bread. So that worked. And the blueberry pie squares are baked and cooling. And they look pretty good. and I can hardly wait to taste them. Um, Wanted to tell you a funny story about the other day, which I meant to share. Why not end up with a laugh? Those things that went around the internet about be careful with your toilet seat because if you sit on the toilet seat, there's this what is it, red coral or red ruby spider or something that will come up and can bite you on the butt and kill you. And which I always just disregarded it. So the other day, I went to the bathroom and I stood up, went to turn around and flush the toilet, the little flushers on the top of the back of my tank. And I reached up and I went to hit it. I'll be dipped if there on the lid was not a spider. I'm like, I was sitting there with that spider right behind me. Down came a spider and sat down beside her. Didn't chase me away. I said, sorry about that. I've told you you can't live in my house. And I quickly released it from its body and flushed the remains down the toilet. Very often, I will take it outside and let it go. Well, I'm going to have much of a better chance outside. And I always figure if I got to kill something, I want to kill it the way I want to go. I never want to know what hit me. So I tried to do that justice to a spider. So, Buddhists, forgive me. Jainists, forgive me. Spider, forgive me. Um, Hopefully that little spider will be reincarnated and all will be well. All right, that's my stories for the day. And I hope you had a good day. And I hope you will think about your relationships. Again, I think we talked about it yesterday. Um, Even if the relationship is tainted or estranged at the moment, keep seeing it good. Keep seeing happiness. Build it. Build it in mind. Where the mind goes, energy flows, and manifestation follows. Let's heal. You know, like Peaches and Herb, reunited, and it feels so good. Have a good day. I gotta find the button. Turn off. Turn off. Turn off. Where is my cursor?